How's it going, everybody? Doing a gum chewing end of the year ramble today. My final video of 2023. I'll be talking about a bunch of stuff. How 2023 went. From a YouTube standpoint and from a life standpoint. Just rambling about whatever. Oh, somebody on Instagram had asked. They're going through some heartbreak. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. I told them that on there as well. And they wanted to know if I could talk about, my own experiences with it from the past and how I dealt with it. So I will talk about that as well in a little bit. I'll start with, as a life year, 2023 kind of sucked, obviously. If you'd seen other videos by me, you would know some of the stuff that has happened. The biggest tragedy was my fiance's mom had passed away back in April. And that was extremely hard, obviously, for her. Me as well, though. I loved her mother. Really a good woman, and it was sad. Other bad things that also had happened. Throughout the year, but did some cool stuff as well, though. Obviously, got to go to Jamaica. That was really cool. I talked about that. Obviously, I put up some videos when I was down there as well. Not just videos I'd filmed here and scheduled for when I was down there, but I think I did a room tapping vid, and I think another random. I think I did a short, or maybe I did a short down there, but I also did I think like a 3 or 4 minute, maybe 5 minute walk video as well. That was a really good time. And Christmas obviously sucked, just went past because we were both sick. I'm feeling better, but I'm not 100% there, I don't think, because I walked to the bank. Earlier today, I'm filming this on the 30th. I'll be going up 31st, and I was like, yeah, I'm not 100%. Why did I walk here? But some good stuff happened and some not. Some tragic stuff happened and some not so good stuff happened, but I'm not going to get into all that. As for YouTube, it was a solid YouTube year. It got stronger as the year, and I'm going by like statistics and stuff like that. I put up videos. I put up a ton. This might be my biggest year video-wise. I don't know. I'm sure I can find that. In terms of videos made and uploaded, I think I put up a video every day since the beginning of April, since April 1st, I think. I think March might have been the last month where I didn't have a full month of videos, which is kind of nuts. And I did put up a couple 2-a-days recently in the past few months. That's what I said. I'm going to be doing that, moving forward as well. If I put up a video and it's not viewing to my liking, I am going to just get another video up that day to keep my view thing up, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build my channel. I'm trying to do the best that I can. For a bunch of reasons. I want my channel to grow. I'm doing great view-wise recently. I think I'm already over 100,000 for the month. Well, it is the end of the month, but I'm having a great viewing month. And admittedly, I had 2 great monetary months as well. November and December. And it takes a lot of effort to even, attempt to do, what you consider. I think everybody has their own goals, and I have my own, and they're not like outrageous goals. They're very probably kind of weaker goals, but I've never had giant like aspirations or whatever the word is for this channel. There's numbers I'd love to hit. Like I'd love to hit like 30, 40, 50,000 subs someday. I don't know if that will happen. But you never know. Because I was actually thinking about this today, and I think I've talked about it in the past. I've never actually had a video go even close to viral. Like, I think the highest viewing video on this channel that I have it's my first full video game collection video I did in like 2018 or something. Might even 17. I think it was 18 though. I want to say, let me look it up. Let's find out. Because I don't even think that's at 60,000 views, to be honest with you. I've never had a video just do like 300,000-400,000 views that gets that massive wave of subs to come in. Where I get like a 5,000 to 10,000 sub jump in like a few months. I've never had that. Which is fine. I mean, I'd love to have a video do it, but whatever, Yeah, 51,000 is my best. It's funny how my best viewing videos are typically full video game collections here. And a lot of, there's that camera tapping, brushing, and scratching. That's an older video. I gotta do another one of those. I think I can on the digital camera. A couple barbershops in there. Like it's 50, I have 2 videos out of the 1,700 that I've done, which is also insane. That have gone over 40,000 views. So I've never had a video go gangbusters. And in fact, it's funny because my other channel, which has like 400 something subs, had videos that had done better than my best on this channel, where I have a lot more subs. So you can't make heads or tails of stuff on YouTube. So I have to, and I hate using the word, I have to keep grinding. I can't stand that word. It just sounds, it's such a bad word. Like, what am I'm grinding. Like that's what I think of as grinding, is like gears not able to function properly. I'm moving at a steady pace is what I should say, which is I'm trucking along. I'd rather hear that or say that. I keep pushing forward. Now, I choose to do videos every day, obviously. Like I said, I like to keep my numbers up, but my sub count would be where it's at if I had 400 or 500 less videos, probably, depending on what videos. I actually thought about cleaning out some videos, just older ones that don't have any likes or barely any likes and barely viewed. And I just didn't like, I've taken down videos in the past, just bad quality or whatever. It's making noises. But overall, it was a good year, and I'm ending it strong, which is nice. But I'm always still grateful for the subs I have. I'm still like, sometimes I look and I'm like, wow, I have that many subs. Like it's still a little surreal to me to know a lot of you, so many of you like my stuff. It feels great, and I'm happy about it, and I'm glad my vids help people as well. That actually means more than pretty much anything, to know like, wow, people actually enjoy these videos, and actually they help them sleep or help them with their stress and anxiety, and that you can't put a price on that. But that means a lot. And the funny thing is, I don't look at my channel, like, of course, I think anybody feels like they should have more subs, myself included, but I don't sit here and say, oh, I should have 100,000 subs. Like, I'm realistic. I'm not, maybe I should have like 17, 18,000 right now, sure, but I know my channel has a ceiling regardless, and that's fine, because I've talked about this in the past, and it might sound a little stupid, but it's like I almost wouldn't want 100,000 subs, because unfortunately I don't get a shit ton of comments to begin with. Like, certain videos do, like the Christmas haul, the PlayStation 5 pickup, certain videos will always do for me 25 to 40, maybe 50 individual comments, but a lot of my videos, ton of likes, great views, and I'll get like 5 individual comments, so, which sometimes can be good, because then I'm not like, oh god, I gotta keep up on a bunch of comments. If you have 100,000 subs and you're generating, well, just say 250 comments a video, and you're putting up a video every day, I wouldn't be able to keep up. And all of a sudden, I'm not responding to people I've responded to for years. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, to me, that's just fucked up, you know? And the heart is kind of, you know, the heart's nice, but it's kind of like a cop-out sometimes. Actually, that's wrong. I shouldn't have said that. It's more, the heart's good, actually, when you get a lot of subs quickly, right? And then you're showing, okay, here, I'm going to show you the heart. It's a good way to say, okay, saw your comment, whatever. It's more, I should say, it's more all of a sudden you're responding to people's comments all the time. People who've been subbed for a while. And then all of a sudden in a few months you have 50,000 more subs. And all of a sudden you're not responding to people you've responded to for years. Like, I don't know, to me, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I would be like, I can't. Like, I almost just figure out how to respond to everybody. Because I would just be like, I can't. Like, what I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry, you know, we had these back and forths for years, but you know what? You're just gonna get a heart now, you know? I wouldn't be able to do it. Now, of course, you could sit here and say, well, someone just says, great video. I respond to those too, and I like those comments as well, but you'd be like, okay, quick heart. Like, someone leaves you an involved comment. From time to time, people leave long comments, nice long comments, and it's like, well, I feel like, and I do my best to respond to almost every section of a comment, you know, but, I wouldn't want that many subs, because I would be like, how do I respond to the comments now? And it would be more so for the people that were subbed for so long, like, that you went back and forth with, that have supported the channel for so many years, and just be like, well, you know what, here's a heart, I'm not going to give you a response anymore. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like I said, I'd have to figure it out. That's why I'm always like, well, if I ended up somehow at 40, 50,000 subs, my comments wouldn't probably jump. Like I said, I don't get a ton of comments, which sometimes sucks, like, let's be honest. Certain videos do it, others don't. Like, I was looking back on, I was trying to find a video, and I came across, like, another one I had done, a similar one, and I was like, how did this only get 4 comments? Like, that's crazy. You know, it had, like, 75, 80 likes, but only 4 comments. So, but I appreciate all this stuff, and I'm not sitting here telling people, you best comment on my channel. No. You comment when you want to comment. It's just I'm making it's an observation I've obviously made on my channel. To be like, well, part of me can keep up with comments because I don't get a shit ton, which is a good thing in some ways, because and then I can respond to everything. Then you get the comments that end up in the held for review. They're either spam or inappropriate. It's usually because people are cursing at you, calling you whatever. I don't get a ton of those, thankfully, but yes, I have gotten them. I check the held for review every once in a while just to see, because sometimes random comments end up in there because they consider them spam. I don't know why. And like I said, some comments have just disappeared. Either they were taken down by the person who left them, or they went poof. But yeah, like anybody else on YouTube, I've gotten a nasty comment. Some make it through, as long as you're not cursing, and others. I remember there was someone that left like a ton. Some made it through and some didn't, and I was just like, oh my god. I'm like actually reading these too, and I'm like, this is nuts. I honestly didn't get too, I think you're always a little taken aback and like, oh no, and then you're like, what are you gonna do, you know? But I understand too, that's the nature of it. You put yourself out on a platform, on a form of social media. It's not gonna be all roses, you know, like, let's be honest. Not everyone's gonna be like, he's awesome. Now, myself personally, if I don't like something, I don't like it. I don't comment or say anything nasty. I don't leave nasty comments. Either I'm going to leave a comment that I like something, or I'm just not going to comment. That's just not how I am. I think I talked about that in was that Instagram. I was doing one of the videos the other day where I was like, you go onto Instagram posts and it's like right out the gate. It could be like the nicest, sweetest thing ever post, and just people like leave negative comments. Like it's almost like I said, it's almost their first nature and their first instinct is to leave something negative. I'd love to see like a psychological study on that, like have people put into chambers and stuff and see people's like thought process, reading minds and brain waves to why they leave whatever kind of comment, nasty or a good one. Or what I want to see, like I said, it was something about the Lions making the playoffs and the team was pumped. This one guy was crying. He's been on the team for a while, hasn't had any goddamn success, is excited and he's getting a little tear out and people are like, act like you've been there. It's like, come on now. Do people come into your job and say, act like you've been there? No, go back and do the meaningless shit we all fucking do every day. We're just lucky enough that we don't have outsiders coming in. Like you might have to deal with your higher ups giving you shit or other coworkers, but we don't have randos coming in and being like, you piece of shit. They did that funny commercial with Peyton Manning where he's like in the deli, he's like, cut that meat. Now, of course, the other side of that is, well, you're a professional athlete, you're seen by millions. It's not going to, once again, be all great. Of course not. There's a difference between, giving some criticism and I could even say, like, the act like you've been there. It's like, that's not even a mean-spirited comment, really. But some of this shit was, like, nasty. Like, pathetic franchise, garbage, like, was crying like a baby, But, of course, sometimes players, anybody, anywhere, deserve some heat, depending on what they've done or something. But, I mean, I used to be bad, except I was just yelling at my TV. I wasn't, back then there was no Instagram and stuff, so I couldn't, and I still haven't, after that, when it came into the thing, I was just like, I would occasionally, back on Facebook or stuff get pissed and say I was pissed, but I was just putting it on my Facebook. I wasn't directing it at the team or a specific player. But I just, and whatever, if you had a game and stuff and you're booing because the team's playing like shit, like I just got destroyed 7-0 the other night. They did 5-1 last night against the Capitals. You rain some booze down, right? Of course. I mean, if you're a player, of course, but if you're at a game and fans are like calling you a piece of shit and wanting your family to die, it's like, that's just so like, there's something else going on there. It's not like you're just like, hey, you really suck tonight. Like, what's the problem? It's like you're going to hell. Your family's all going to hell now. Like it's kind of funny though too. As insane as it is, you're just like, what? But I would love to see a study on like just the first instinct to be negative. Like, and I'm saying it's not even like it's someone puts up a stupid video or they do something where they're like trying to get attention and people are like, what's wrong with you trying to get attention? I'm talking like it can be a video of someone just hitting a home run and everybody's in there like destroying the person. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why? What? I don't know. You know what? What are you going to do? That's all I say. Now, if I had my way, and sometimes I'm pretty good at not reacting to things, but some things get to you. It's just, everybody's human, right? I could sit here and just say everybody's a snowflake. The second you react to anything, you're a snowflake. Like, I wish we were all just like, no reaction, just like, yeah. You see something on the internet or something crazy happens, you're just like, and you just keep moving forward. Someone says something to you messed up, you're just like, and you just move. It just doesn't do anything to you. I'm sure there's people like that in the world that are just wired that way, to where nothing affects them emotionally. They can see a video of anything and, or somebody says whatever and nothing happens. Like they don't know how to react, or their brains just don't allow them to. I don't know. Yeah, this is actually kind of a true ramble, so. Oh, let me start. It's about a little after 20 minutes. I gotta remember this because I will tell the person on Instagram when it started. said, I was sorry to hear that. My personal experiences, obviously, I haven't had to deal with that kind. I'm talking about a heartbreak of a breakup. I haven't had to deal with that in a long time, obviously. But the first time I dealt with it badly, I was 20. I had a girlfriend in high school for a little bit, and that breakup sucked, but it didn't. Like, I wasn't like emotionally destroyed by it, right? But my second real girlfriend, when she dumped me, it was brutal. Like, kind of came out of nowhere, and I was just like I was just done. Like, like I can't sleep and all this stuff. And admittedly, and it was hard because I couldn't process it properly, and I could admit that. Even then, because I would keep, at the time, I was beeping her. Or, I might have called her house a few times, and it's like, I think like her mother or something answered and was just like, you gotta kind of, it's kind of like it's over, you gotta stop. And I was like, fuck, like I knew, like I'm I hate to say harassing, but that wasn't my intent, but I was annoying her, and although she would talk to me still, and and I think she felt bad, and I think she somewhat understood, and I was just like, oh my god. Eventually, I was just like, I'm sorry, I keep, doing this, sorry. It didn't last that long after, but like, the heartbreak did, but not that. Because I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't process it. I'm like, why? What? What do? You're asking questions. You're just like, And I think after a breakup, there's that period where you just think maybe you'll just get back together, and then once again, time does its thing, right? You get through that toughness. That's how I did. Sometimes if you meet someone a little later, it will help ease it too, because then you're adjusting and getting to know someone else and then loving someone else. But it was hard. It was hard as shit, I actually talked to her like years later too. This is back in '99. I talked to her years later, and the person was funny. Oddly enough, the person she got with, like, she was like literally dating someone, like, and all of a sudden she dumped me, and she was with this person like the next day. Not the next day. I guess because that's why I said it wasn't like completely out of nowhere, because it was kind of like we were super serious, and then we kind of took a little step back, and then I was more still committed, and then I think I didn't realize she was more like, okay, I'm actively trying to find someone else. And that's kind of messed up too. It's like, oh, I'll keep you around until I find somebody else, and then whatever. But that person, like, he ended up being a real asshole. So, because he was telling me about him, like, later on, and I was just like, whatever. And like I said, I'm going back, I'm like, well, that relationship wasn't going to be the one that lasted forever anyway. And that's the thing, you come to grips with that as it goes on. Time takes its toll. You focus, and I walked a lot. I still walk a lot, and you got to keep your mind clear. It's hard, though, It's tough. Because you're thinking about it constantly, and the good times and everything. And it can be hard for a while, so I hope you do get through it. And like I said, time eventually will do its thing. You'll meet someone new, and you got to learn from the mistakes, and that's what I did as well. But like I said, I just couldn't process it properly at first, so I ended up looking like an idiot because, like I said, I was beeping her and calling her. Like, I'm like, oh, I just want to talk to you again, like, you get that feeling, like I said, oh, it can work or whatever, and it doesn't, and then I realized, I was like, okay, I gotta stop. I mean, I'm self-aware enough to know, I was like, I can't, but I just, like, I didn't know how to deal with it properly, and she wasn't like, oh, you piece of shit, how could you do this? But I just was like, I eventually was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, continually, call and beep or whatever. I mean, the only real true healer to that, though, is time, and that goes with anything that happens in life. Time eventually, some things are longer. Breakups are on the easier scale, We're talking deaths and stuff. The time will make it a tad easier, but it never goes away, truly. depends on the length of it, the relationship, of course, If it's a super long one, it's harder to deal with and harder to get past. The shorter it is, the easier it is to get past it. And sometimes, there was other times where I was in a breakup and, like, I was just like, oh, you know what, I understand. I mean, you each go your separate ways and that's it. Other ones, you're like, oh, man. But that was the worst one. That was, like, the only, like, true one. That really devastated me because I was like, truly in love with her, and it's like the first girlfriend I had, I cared for her, but it wasn't the same, and this one, I think that's why it was so devastating as well, It's hard to just be like, okay, see you later. I think as you get older, too, that helps, but then eventually you end up with someone like I have been, love of my life, been with her since 2013, so eventually it works itself out. But like I said, you gotta be positive, right? The cliches, and you have to keep your mind clear and not. It's so hard to not think about it, but you gotta do things to take your mind off too, like play a video game or something, take a walk. You're watching sports, you're playing sports, hanging out with friends and stuff like that. It's good if you have friends or something that help take your mind off things as well. I hope you get through it, and like I said, just, you gotta just tough it out and just go with it, and, understand that it's gonna suck for a bit, unfortunately, and it will eat up a lot of your mental capacity. And then one day, all of a sudden, you either meet somebody else, or something clicks, and the time has done its thing, and you kind of continue forward. Or then sometimes, like I said, you end up meeting someone out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it's like, it goes out of your mind, because now you have a focus, and then you end up getting to know that person, and then while you're getting to know them, the stuff you kind of remembered about the other person just goes away. Of course, the process could repeat itself, and, people suffer multiple heartbreaks in terms of breakups in their lives. I think the thing with me was, too, is that, maybe this sounds stupid, I don't know, but it wasn't just like a love, like I valued the friendship and hanging out, like I genuinely like hanging out with some of these people, and then you realize you're losing that too, and that kind of sucks, so, but, like I said, just keep powering through, and try to keep your focus on something else, and whatever, but don't also jump into something new, just to try to get that out of your mind, because that's not helpful for you or the other person that you end up meeting. If it happens naturally, that's different. But yeah, that's the little section on that. What else? All the Browns. Somebody was asking what I thought about the Browns-Jets games. I saw the Browns won. And I think they made the playoffs, right? They got like 11 wins now. Good for them. Got Joe Flacco doing his thing. He's having a pretty decent little run with the Browns. Good for him. He was the Bronco quarterback briefly. He did not have the kind of run he had with Cleveland. He's a good presence. Honestly, he's the kind of guy that could win them a playoff game. He obviously has the experience with the playoffs. He has a Super Bowl. And he has a decent amount of playoff wins. I know his Super Bowl run, I remember, was nuts. I think he had like 8 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns, no picks or something during that run. I remember because they beat Denver. And it was Peyton's first year with the Broncos. And Denver had the lead at the end. And inexplicably, that's how you say it. I shouldn't try to say words I can't say. It's like particularly. I hate that word. I forget who the safety was at the time, but Flacco throws a bomb, and the safety did something weird, like blew the cover. Something so dumb, and then it went to overtime. And it was a hell of a game. But that was just, oh my God. I remember that. I don't know what he did. He was doing something that he should not have been doing. I mean, Denver did end up going to the Super Bowl the following year and getting obliterated by Seattle, but also lost their first game the year after against the Colts, and then the next year they won the Super Bowl. So it was very entertaining 4 years of Peyton. The last 4 entertaining years for Denver, and the year before that with Tebow was entertaining that they made the playoffs. The year after, I think they started 4-0, maybe even better than that, and they ended up missing the playoffs. They ended up going 9-7. That's because they were still riding the defense. I don't think Osweiler was the quarterback that year because I think he had signed with Houston instead. That year, did he last? I can't remember if he was gone right after the Super Bowl or he was actually the quarterback that year. I can't remember. Or he left immediately that year. And then he ended up being shit. And I remember that, I think it was Talib was like, yeah, we got him a massive contract and he didn't pan out. Listen, Denver's also parting ways with Russell Wilson because, listen, he's having a good year, but not like a great year. I'm not going to just look at his stats and be like, oh, he's having a great year. He's doing much better than he did last year. The team, well, now Stidman, I don't know how he is. He doesn't have many starts in his career. At worst, they're going to improve 2 games, but they're doing it for money purposes, too. I forget the reason. Something with like a bonus or some shit. But he was never going to be a Peyton guy. Peyton came in, doesn't he? Sean Payton, though, you know what? Here you go, Sean Payton. Here's your 2 games. You got Stidman. You're such an offensive genius. Get it done with him. Win both games. But Peyton always, to me, it comes across as a coach that would just throw whoever he could under the bus before taking blame himself. Shame, too, you know. He had a nice year. They were freaking 7-6, you know, and they couldn't beat the Pats, so at home. Like, come on. That's why they still have that culture of losing and that stink of losing that's been there for the last 7-8 years. They cannot. They cannot get past that kind of crap. It's like if they just went 10-7 and missed the playoffs, fine, but you're 7-7. They were 7-6, and they lost to the Lions. Whichever, you lost to the Lions, whatever. But now you're 7-7. You have New England, you have San Diego, both at home, and then you have the Raiders on the road. Not to say you're going to automatically win all those games, but you immediately have to win the Patriot game at home. The Patriots at the time, I think, had 2 wins, maybe 3. And you can't do it. And even if they did win, they struggled too much. They had like the one game, the first Charger game, they dominated. They kind of dominated that other second Chiefs game too, but it's going to be so hard because they used to be an amazing home team where they wouldn't lose more than 2 games at home. And I'm talking before they started missing playoffs for like 8 straight years. But even in like a year, they would go 8-8. They would still manage to be like 5-3 at home or 6-2 at home. They suck on the road, but you'd at least rely on home field, and that's. They lost to the Commanders at home, the Jets at home, the Raiders at home, the Patriots at home. Do they have any other home losses? I don't know. You can't do that if you're supposed to make the playoffs or you want to at least compete for the playoffs. What are you gonna do? Let's see. I mean, but is his name Jarrett Stidman? Is he gonna be the guy? No, are you gonna try to find another quarterback and you're setting the franchise back another 3 years? And you know what's gonna happen? Russell Wilson's gonna go to another team. He's gonna have an amazing year. They're gonna get in the playoffs or something. He should just go back to Seattle to make that trade the complete and utter embarrassment that it is. We got your picks. You got the quarterback. Oh, we're gonna take the quarterback. You have nothing. Here's Drew Lock back. They might as well try to get Drew Lock back. What are you gonna do? But yeah, we are going to Florida tomorrow, so I'm not gonna feel 100% down there, but I think it's gonna be mostly just a hangout, not too much kind of trip. So whatever. And 2024 is going to be more videos, as always. I'm hoping 2024 is, even though it's not like officially, I always do my YouTube anniversary, and obviously YouTube keeps track of this as well. The first video went up for the channel, and that was September 5th, I believe, 2016, so it's really September to September. But let's see what 2024 does. I would pick up a lot of subs and bring more viewers in, keep the ones I have. I'm gonna keep pumping out the videos, obviously. I can't believe I'm almost at 2,000 videos. I don't know how many I have. I don't know if it's 1,800 or if it's in the 1,700s. I think I can check, actually. And once again, thank you to everybody who subbed and commented and liked and enjoyed my vids and everything. Obviously, it's great. Back and forths, everything, you know. That's what makes it fun. I think I have to go to actual YouTube itself. It says 1.7. I know it's not exactly 1.7. A lot of it's a lot of time spent making videos. I don't edit though, so that helps. I don't think I'd be doing a video every day if I edited, honestly. I wouldn't go nuts with editing, but it's just not, it's not my thing. I've had videos where I'm 5 minutes in and something gets messed up, or I'm just not liking how it's going, and I stop and start over, but I do these videos, you know, I know it's not high-end production. I think my creativity's solid, but I know my production's average, I guess. Setting the it's more time. I'd rather just be getting up more videos, and it's more natural when there's no editing. And it's like my videos typically will flow. I know there's some that you could tell, especially it's mostly role plays that this will happen. And because like I said, I don't write anything down for role play. I have an idea or I get a request, and then in my head I'm doing things, and then as I'm doing the video, new things pop into your head, and then I go with that. And so sometimes you'll see like a pause or something if I'm like trying to think on the fly. But yeah, it's just I like to keep it natural. It's me talking to people that I like to talk to. You guys, you know, my subs. And I'm glad that as many people like it as they do. That's why I feel like I'm, you know, blessed on that front, you know, because like I said, I still look at my sub count and I'm like, damn, that's, you know, it's impressive, you know. Like I said, though, I think I've talked about in the past, when I first started doing videos, it was still weird. I was like, ASMR videos are weird, because you watch some and you're like, this is strange, and then you find yourself doing them, and then you get more used to it, and you're like, okay, it's... Yeah, here's to another good 24 for everybody. I hope everybody has a good new year, and 24 starts off well. You know, you can't predict what's going to happen, so gotta hope for the best. But yeah, hopefully plenty more to come from me. I will be filming from Florida, so see what happens then. What I do, and probably a couple drink reviews, stuff like that. Nothing too involved, I don't think. But yeah, it's just the end of the ramble here.